Hello and welcome to the second part of the skill review for Chapter 5. We just finished making a chart in the last video. And if you'll notice that once you make a chart, that an additional set of tabs opens up under Chart Tools here. So you have Design, you have Format. So we're going to continue on with Step 8. Step 8 says move the chart to its own sheet name, Purchase Prices. So if you'll notice here, there's a button here called Move Chart. Make sure the chart is selected. So it's got these little handles here. Otherwise, if you click off, you're not in the Chart tabs, Chart Tools tab, I should say. So now we've got it selected. Now we can do Move Chart. And we want to do a new sheet. So we'll click here. And then we'll literally type in the name of our new sheet. Purchase Price. Make sure you spell it correctly with the correct proper capitalization. Click OK. And so now it's in its new sheet area. So now we're going to do some formatting of this. So the first thing in step 9 says update the chart title and display the data labels as callouts. So change the chart title for sale by owner. So we can click right here, and once we get in there, we can delete what's there and type in exactly what they want for the title. Okay. So we've got that. Then part B says click the chart elements button near the upper right hand corner of the chart. Okay, so I'm going to click and see if I can get that back for you. I'm going to close this out. And so if you hover over this, this is the chart elements button. So you'll click on that. And then notice what's checked. And so currently what's checked is what's visible on the screen. So what we want to do is we want the data labels. So we'll click here. And we're still pointing to data labels. And notice that there's typically sometimes a little arrow key here. That's what they want you to click on. And once we do that, we're going to do the data call out. And once we're done with that, so notice what it's done. It's putting those values on our line graph. I would just say, when you open this chart elements up, look at the different things that are available to you. And, explore a little bit and see what can be done. So you can actually move that chart title around somewhere. I'll click on that and notice that when I did that, it erased what was there. So I'm going to put that back in. Okay. So we're moving on to step 10. Step 10 says apply the style 2 quick style to the chart. So we're going to click on chart styles. And the chart styles, you need to get these buttons back. So if they go away, you select your chart, and then this looks like a brush as your chart style. And then you're going to select style 2. So you're going to hover over that for a second or two. So that's style 2. We'll select that. Now there's also alternative ways to get to that. Let's see if I can find that for you. So up here under chart styles, right here. So either way. All right, the next item is we're going to create in step 11 a pivot table to summarize the average purchase price of different house types for each agent. So we're going to return to the sales data, I believe, worksheet. Now, remember a pivot table, you probably don't remember, but a pivot table allows you to compare or get values for an intersection of two column headings. So think it as a crosstabs kind of function, if that makes sense to you. And it may make some more sense if you just think, I want to know something that's an aggregate of some other column or heading here. So in our case, we want to know the average purchase price for different housing types. So if we know the different types of housing, we've got just some here. We want to know the average for all modern, all ranch. Just think how long it would take you to go into all of this data and get the average price for everything. With a pivot table, we could do that in a couple of clicks. All right, so we're going to go to the Insert tab. That's where we get our pivot table. So we're on step B. In the Tables group, click the Recommended Pivot Table button. So right here. Verify the first recommended pivot table is sum of purchase price by agent. So I'm going to go back and see what we've done. That's not correct. So what we haven't done is clicked anywhere in the table. Now when we do the recommended pivot table, we can see that we get those recommended lists. We want the sum of purchase price by agent. So we may have to scoot this over by house type. So that's this first one, sum of purchase price by agent. So we'll click OK. And that throws us into our own another worksheet. And you can see here we've got the sum of purchase prices. It automatically built this for us. Agent here is what we've got in the row headings. So that's the different types of people that sold their houses. And we're actually doing the total sum of purchase price. So we're going to have to change this a little bit to get what we're looking for. So think about what we're looking for again, which is the average purchase price for the different house types for each agent. So step E says, click on any cell in the sum of purchase price column. Okay, we did that. On the Pivot Table Tools Analysis tab, okay, so we've got a different set of tabs up here. We got the Analyze tab. In the Active Field group, click the Field Settings button. So we're looking for the Active Field group. Click the Field Settings button. In the Summarize, Consider Sum, we're going to go to Average, and we're going to click OK. Now that seems sort of counterintuitive, not counterintuitive, but it seems a little bit more difficult. What we've just done is we've gone down here and changed, instead of being sum of purchase prices, we want the average purchase price. And the way you typically would do that is you would then go to Value Field Settings, Consider Sum, we just clicked Average. So we just got to the same thing by changing this value here. So I just wanted you to see that and let you know what you're doing. And think about what you're doing and not just clicking buttons. Because on the test, it'll ask you to do this, but it's not going to give you the step-by-step in order to do it. All right, step I says, well, add the house type field to the pivot table by clicking the checkbox in the field list pane. So we want to do house type because that's what it originally asked for. So we're going to click that, and that's going to add it in there. So Excel automatically places the house type field in the rows box and displays the house type data as a subgroup for the rows below each agent. So that's what it's done for each agent. To summarize the house type data for each agent, use the house type field as columns in the pivot table. So instead of being in the rows area, we're going to make it a separate column. All we're doing is click and hold and drag it to here. So what has it done? We've got our agents here, and then we've got each of the different house types across the top. Within this summarization, we've got the average purchase price by owner for condominiums, the average purchase price for Mediterranean by owner, and so on. And so in order to get all of these numbers out of this particular table, it would probably take you a long time. Even us just talking here only took 4 or 5 minutes. Now there's some other things you could do to this. You could actually put this formatted as dollar signs or accounting format and make it look nicer. But that's all your skill review wants you to do at this point. So step 12 is we want to add some spark lines to the right of the pivot table. Now spark lines are little graphs that show up in the cell, and they give you a visual aid of how everything is doing in the row of data that you're wanting to graph. So in order to add the spark lines, we need to select what we want. So it wants us to select B5 through E9. On the Insert tab, you would then click Spark Lines. So that's over here. And this time we're going to do a little column. So we're going to click that. So it says, okay, here's the dialog box. The data range, which we specified before we got started, was B5 to E. We should have done 9 here, so we can actually change it here. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of this because it's probably tracking what we started with, so we won't change it there. We'll do that. Then we'll do the column spark line, so we've got the correct data range now. And we select a column, and now it says, okay, where do you want the spark lines to be placed? And we're going to select I believe G5. Let's click here. And now we're going to do G5 to G9. Make some absolute. And we'll click OK. And so what you can see is we've got 4 columns worth of data. Which in that column was the biggest? So we can see it's the 4th one. First column, second column here, and first column there. So a lot of condominiums had almost highest values in everything. Only the ranch style by owner had the highest average there. So again, think about what your data is showing you and what that might mean, not just be clicking through here, because somebody's going to ask you why you did that. The next thing we're going to show you how to do is, okay, we've created a chart before of our data. can we create a chart out of our pivot table? And the answer is yes. So step 13 says create a pivot chart from the pivot table. So we have to click inside of the pivot table, and on the pivot table analyze tab in the tools group, we're going to click pivot chart. So make sure you got that selected. Then you see the pivot chart here, and it says select the first bar chart from the insert chart dialog. So we go bar. The first one is a clustered bar. We'll click OK. And it doesn't want it to cover the pivot chart, so I just move it down a little. And so visually we can now see the different agent types here and different house types and their average purchase price. So it pulled all the information for us that we had selected before. And we could use the chart elements and chart styles in order to modify this and format it a little differently if you wanted to. And I'm going to end this particular video. When we come back, we'll finish this skill review for Chapter 5.